Another week, another slew of busts that probably sank your fantasy team, but where should the panic level actually be on each one of these players? Let's find out. And if your fantasy team was an absolute letdown in week 4, don't worry, you can rebound by getting your picks in on Underdog. And if you're feeling lucky this week, you can take advantage of this Tyreek Hill new customer special. He only needs to go over half a yard. Will he do it, or will he be another bust? I think he can do it. Take advantage of that Tyreek Hill new customer special, pair it with any other pick or picks you like, and get back on the winning track. And don't forget, if you're signing up for Underdog for the very first time, make sure you use promo code ENDGAME, because not only will you get this Tyreek Hill free pick, you'll also get bonus cash up to $1,000 that you can use right now to get those picks in. Let's start on Thursday night. Not really a lot to talk about here other than me saying I'm sorry to everybody who watched the Booms video and started Devin Singletary. He did not boom against this terrible Cowboys run defense who didn't have Dexter Lawrence for most of the game. Micah Parsons wasn't even that good in this game. How did Devin Singletary play this bad? I don't know, but look, the panic level is only a 2 here because let's be real. Are you counting on Devin Singletary every single week as your starting running back? I mean, look, we tried him in a great matchup. It didn't work. Time to move on. But now to Sunday, Broncos at Jets, and there may have been a couple players in this game that you were counting on that absolutely let your team down, and we got to start with Breece Hall. 4 yards on 10 carries, 2 catches for 14 yards, no touchdowns, 3.8 fantasy points. And, you know, what's really concerning here isn't that he was bad. I mean, it happens. Everybody has bad games, but Braylon Allen averaged over 4 yards per carry in this game against the same defense. Look, I'm not ready to go full-fledged panic yet on Breece Hall. Like, oh my gosh, Braylon Allen is going to be a committee here, but this is not encouraging when he's worse than the other running back in this game. So I'm getting a little nervous here, but I mean, Breece Hall's been great this year. I'm only going to put the panic level at a 4 for right now. And we knew Garrett Wilson probably wasn't going to have a good day against Patrick Surtain. I mean, he wasn't bad. 5 catches, 41 yards, got you 9 fantasy points. But, you know, what did you expect here in this matchup? But really, Garrett Wilson hasn't been great all season, to be honest. But he's got a couple more tough matchups, then it eases up. I think Garrett Wilson is still a great buy low right now. I'm not panicking on Garrett Wilson at all. Again, panic level only going to be a 4 on Garrett Wilson. Saints at the Falcons, and another big name running back that did not come through this week was Bijan Robinson. Only 28 yards on 7 attempts. He did have 46 receiving yards on 4 catches, so that's very nice. But look, I know you're going to see the stats like, oh my gosh, his snaps were down. Tyler Allgeier's snaps are up. Tyler Allgeier had 8 carries. He only had 7. It's time to panic. No, don't do this. Look, one of those games, right? Just one of those games. Not worried about this at all here. He's going to rebound. He's going to be fine. Panic level only a 1. Now, I can't say the same thing for tight end Kyle Pitts. 3 targets, no catches. So that's 0 fantasy points. I mean, he didn't carry the ball, so 0 fantasy points. I mean, look, after that nice week 1 where he scored a touchdown, yeah, you got to be really wondering about Kyle Pitts here. Even though the Falcons offense is starting to look better, Cousins is starting to look better, yeah, this is not looking good for Kyle Pitts right now. I am definitely nervous for Kyle Pitts. I mean, I know the tight end position is bad right now, but you still want something from your tight end, right? You don't want a 0. I'm putting the panic level at an 8 on Kyle Pitts. Rams took on the Bears, and look, there's nothing really to talk about on the Rams side here. Everybody's hurt except for Kyron, and he was good. But what about the Bears side? Caleb Williams certainly did not come through in a smash matchup. The Bears did win this game, but let's talk about the receivers. DJ Moore, Rome Odunze, and Keenan Allen. They combined for 7 catches and 51 yards against arguably one of the worst secondaries in the entire NFL. None of them went over 5.5 fantasy points in this game. They were all major busts this week. I mean, this is probably what it's going to be. It's going to be a rocky road. You got a rookie quarterback, but I will say there were a ton of missed opportunities really for each of these wide receivers in this game here, but this is what you're going to get. A lot of ups and downs, like a roller coaster. I'm going to put the panic level at a 6 for all 3 of these guys. Vikings went into Green Bay, and another win. Man, the Vikings, what an incredible story this year, but not as good of a story for a guy like Josh Jacobs of the Packers. Only 9 carries in this game. Now, he did have 51 yards on those 9 carries, which is nice, but 27 receiving yards on 4 catches. I mean, he wasn't horrible, but he also wasn't great, even though the Packers scored a ton of points. Now, a big part of that was they were getting blown out in this game, and they were just like chucking the ball down the field trying to come back. I do think better days are ahead for Josh Jacobs. I'm not worried here on Josh Jacobs at all. Jordan Love looked okay, like coming back first game from injury. He'll get better. So panic level for Josh Jacobs at this point is only going to be a 4. And we got to put the panic level at a 9 for Christian Watson. No, not because he was bad. I mean, he barely played. He played 5 snaps and then he hurt his ankle. But that's why, because he hurt his ankle. And now this looks like a serious ankle injury. And we already know this is a guy you don't want to hear the word injury when talking about Christian Watson. So probably going to miss extended time. I mean, who knows how he's going to be when he comes back. Yeah, panic level of 9 on Christian Watson. The Jaguars went to Houston, and they gave the Texans a game. No doubt about it. This was a game. But Travis Etienne didn't have a big part in that game. I mean, 11 carries, 50 yards, 1 catch for 10 yards, 7 fantasy points in this game. And look, he's certainly played more than Tank Bigsby, but Tank Bigsby was a lot better. 90 yards for Tank Bigsby in this game. I don't think we're going to see Tank Bigsby take over this backfield. I kind of like Brees and Braylon. I don't think we're going to see a 50-50 split, but the fact that Tank looks good and is getting involved and Etienne just really hasn't been that good, you got to be a little bit nervous here. So I'm going to put the panic level at a 6 for Travis Etienne right now. Steelers at the Colts, and even with Jalen Warren sideline, Najee Harris did almost nothing. 19 yards on 13 carries. He did have 54 receiving yards on 3 catches, so at least he did have that. But, I mean, 10 fantasy points, that's fine. You'll take that from Najee. But again, no Jalen Warren here against the Colts defense. Like, what's really the upside for Najee Harris at this point? But also, are you really counting on Najee Harris every week? Panic level of 6, I guess. But, I mean, come on, it's Najee Harris. Like, what do you really want here? Now, Anthony Richardson was actually looking pretty good. 71 passing yards. He had run the ball 3 times for 24 yards and then got hurt, a hip injury. So we're going to have to definitely monitor this. I can't really judge on this because he was looking pretty good. We don't know how the game would have gone. So I'm going to put the panic level at 5 right now because we obviously don't know about the injury. But look, he was showing signs, albeit in a brief stint. He was showing signs. He was running. He looked better throwing the ball. Maybe better days are ahead for Anthony Richardson. I'm sure they are, but right now, panic level of 5 because we don't know the severity of the injury. Eagles went into Tampa and got smoked by the Buccaneers. Is it time to worry about Jalen Hurts? Only 158 passing yards, 1 passing touchdown, only 20 rushing yards, although he did have a tush-push touchdown, which is what you like to see, but he had another turnover in this game. Only 16 fantasy points, but, I mean, look, he's missing A.J. Brown. He's missing Devonta Smith. He's throwing to Jahan Dotson. He threw a touchdown to Paris Campbell. Like, I'm going to cut Jalen Hurts some slack here. He should be fine once A.J. Brown and Devonta Smith come back, which could be as soon as this week. So, panic level only a 3 on Jalen Hurts. He's going to be fine. I'm not sure I can say that for Rachaad White, though. I mean, look, he actually was efficient. 10 carries, 49 yards. That's almost 5 yards per carry. 2 catches, 35 yards. That's great, but Bucky Irving had the same number of carries and same number of yards, also had 1 catch. Oh, and he got the touchdown in this game. This is looking closer and closer to a 50-50 split as things go on. So I think you got to be a little bit nervous here for Rachaad White that he could start losing even more touches to Bucky Irving. I know we've been saying this every week and it's still kind of a split, but I just feel like it's going to happen at some point. So going to put the panic level at a 6 on Rachaad White right now, and that might even be too low. Commanders at the Cardinals, and whoa, do the Commanders actually have a franchise QB? I mean, it's still early, but he's looking pretty good. On the other side, what about the Cardinals franchise QB? Kyler Murray at home against the Commanders? 142 passing yards, 1 touchdown. Okay, that's fine, whatever. It's not what we're looking for, but what's up with only 3 rushing yards? Why aren't you running the ball more? Why aren't you using your mobility? What was going on in this game? I don't know. This was a terrible game from Kyler Murray in an absolute smash spot, but look, he's been mostly good this year. Everybody has a bad game. I don't know. Maybe he played video games too late last night. I don't know, but I'm not going to freak out about Kyler Murray here. Panic level is only going to be a 3. Patriots went into San Francisco, and despite Ramondre Stevenson fumbling again, although the Patriots did recover at this time at least, he still mostly controlled this backfield. I mean, 13 carries, 43 yards, 4 catches, 19 yards. Obviously not a big game here, but, we were kind of worried, like, maybe the 49ers script him out. Which they kind of did to a lesser degree, but look, Ramondre Stevenson, he's still the workhorse here. I think he's going to be okay. He probably won't be as good as he was in weeks 1 or 2, but he'll probably get better than he was in weeks 3 and 4. So panic level a 5 here on Ramondre Stevenson. Now the panic level is starting to really go up for Brandon Ayuk. 5 targets, 2 catches, 48 yards, 6.8 fantasy points. Look, I know it's Christian Gonzalez, but Garrett Wilson just had 14 fantasy points last week. What really concerns me here is 2 catches? That's it? Like, you know what I mean? Like, come on. You're supposed to be the wide receiver 1. You're getting paid like the wide receiver 1. Where have you been this year? What is going on with Brandon Ayuk? I am definitely getting nervous for Brandon Ayuk right now. I mean, he's going to almost certainly get better at some point because it's kind of hard to be worse, but you definitely have to be getting nervous at this point. I'm putting the panic level at a 6, and I mean, maybe it should even be a 7 here. I don't know. Chiefs and Chargers, and we got to start with Rashee Rice, who suffered what looks like a scary knee injury on a fumble, right? Trying to go for a fumble and running into his own quarterback. Let's hope it's not serious. That's all we can do, right? Prayers up. Hope it's not serious. It could be bad, but I'm hoping for the best here. And of course, with Rashee Rice out, Patrick Mahomes, another bad fantasy game. 245 yards, 1 passing touchdown, only 15 rushing yards, no rushing touchdowns, only 13.3 fantasy points, and he got saved by that bomb to Xavier Worthy. I mean, I know it's Patrick Mahomes and Xavier Worthy, they can do that, but you got to be worried here. Like, Hollywood Brown probably done for the season. What if Rashee Rice is done for an extended period of time? Look, Travis Kelce got more involved because they had to, right? They didn't have anybody else to throw to, honestly, but this is going to be a worse passing group than he even had last year when he had Rashee Rice and Sky Moore and MVS and Travis Kelce. I mean, we're looking at Worthy, Kelce, Sky Moore again. Oh, man, this is not good for Patrick Mahomes. I am very nervous here. I am putting the panic level at a 6. And again, if it wasn't Patrick Mahomes, it'd probably be higher. I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt here. Maybe it should be higher, but for right now, let's put it at a 6. Then J.K. Dobbins, once again, not a great game this week. 14 carries, only 32 yards. He did chip in 3 catches for 30 yards, which helped you out there. 9 fantasy points this week. But again, this was another tough matchup. But when you look at it, he once again dominating this backfield. Gus Edwards barely involved. Kimani Vidal not even involved at all. So better days will be ahead for J.K. Dobbins. I'm not panicked here. Panic level only a 5. And then we finished with Browns at Raiders. And just when we thought there was a tight end we could trust in Brock Bowers, 2 catches, 19 yards. Gardner Minshew, 150 passing yards in this game. Like, is this a joke? What is going on here? And somehow the Raiders won this game. How is that even possible? But look, better days are ahead for Brock Bowers. Not freaking out here. It's tight end. Like, you got Brock Bowers. Don't worry about it. Panic level only a 4. And then Amari Cooper, I guess, is just going to continue to be the guy that underperforms no matter what, even though everything is there for him. 3 catches, 22 yards, no touchdowns, only 5.2 fantasy points. And what did we see in this game? An 82-yard touchdown that maybe would have won the game for the Browns, called back on a very, very dubious holding call, by the way. This is just kind of how Amari Cooper's season has gone. I mean, yeah, he dropped a pass that led to an interception. He had a bad penalty. I mean, it's just been a rough season for him. But, man, this could have been another boom game for Amari Cooper. And if it wasn't for the refs, it would have been another boom game for Amari Cooper. So I think he's just going to be one of these guys. You put him in your lineup, you close your eyes, and you pray it's a boom week. Panic level, only a 5 here on Amari Cooper because this is who he's going to be. So there are my takes on the biggest bust in week 4. But if you want help with everything else to help you win in week 5, we got you covered. Keep checking back our week 5 playlist right here. We're going to update it with videos every single day, all week long to help you win.